It was pumping, big wave, big drop. It's like scary, but I like that. I can now do cutbacks. Big waves coming through. Not what I was expecting. Definitely not. Definitely not. I would need a 7.2 for that. That's a sign, right? I was like claiming it and cheering it. Oh, hello and welcome back to another TIFF Talk. Could it be that I was expecting some magical spiritual experience when I went to G-Land? Could it be that actually coming back, it's the feeling that I now embody since returning? It is Thursday evening and it is November. It is already November. Welcome everybody. It is November. We have 2 months of the year left. There are 2 months of the year left. It's 8:30 p.m. It's a Thursday and I'm at home. Something shifted. If you have been following along my channel and you've been watching these videos leading up to this video, you will probably pick up on the tone, the mood, the energy, my attitude, like mega stress ball. And I realized for me, there's been so many realizations. So this video is really, it's just a brief update. I didn't script any of this, but I really needed to sit down and share my thoughts, my insights, my embodiment, my realizations. And maybe for you watching this as well, I invite for you to reflect on your own life with what I have to share. Leading up to my trip to G-Land, I was only there 3 nights, 3 very short nights. I am very much looking forward to going back next year. I will definitely go for at least 6 days, even 9 days next year, maybe longer. I absolutely fell in love. No, I didn't fall in love with a man there. I was thinking maybe that could have been maybe something that was going to happen. No, that didn't happen. I have really fallen in love with the waves there and with the land and the energy there. It's been more than a month now since I stepped away from the previous business model that I was aligned with and I was very focused with. And it's been wonderful in the last few weeks for me to rest and slow down and not really be plugged into social media very much. I've shared some stories here and there and posted a reel or 2 on Instagram with surfing. I have sat down and I have done some talking head and I've done some vlogs. Actually, there have been some very long vlogs. I realized that the way that I was working was not sustainable. The way that I was approaching and showing up every day for my professional life was definitely not sustainable. And that obviously resulted in a huge burnout. And since that burnout, it's been amazing to rest and to sleep and to allow myself time to be present to myself in the moment in my days where I'm at. And a big word that I've spoken about before is to rest. And in doing so, now coming back from my trip to G-Land, now feel like I've reset my energy and my focus and my frequency. I'm so fortunate that my mindset has been really on point now for months now, and really credit that for the transformations, the personal transformations, the personal development, the inner healing that I have embodied and experienced throughout this year. However, it's really my energy, my energetics, and my focus with my professional life that was not sustainable, that caused me to burn out. And I really had to, and I'm fortunate that I've been able to have the time and I created the time. I mean, I was pretty much forced because I just burned out. However, I'm really grateful that I allowed myself the time to unravel, to just be. And in doing that, and that's also been a bit of a roller coaster. No like major breakdowns or anything in my resting phase. However, it's been an interesting time of, I guess, this in-between phase, because I've really not had this in many, many years. However, coming back now, I'm so focused again to get back into being busy, but at a different pace. Anyway, I want to talk about G-Land. And I've told this story a few times if you've been following my channel, that I had this experience at Christmas time last year where I was decorating the tree and putting all the Christmas decorations. I was home in Sydney and I was with my mom and I was doing the decorations, and I stopped to have a lunch break. So I'm watching on my iPhone the Patagonia Jerry Lopez documentary. It's produced by Stacey Peralta, and it's called The Yin and Yang of Jerry Lopez and his journey and life with surfing. And the scene cuts to where the guys are introducing Jerry Lopez to G-Land for the first time. They said, "You think that the waves here at Uluwatu are amazing. Wait until you see the waves when you get to G-Land." As soon as the scene, and I'm watching this on YouTube on my iPhone, as soon as the scene cuts to G-Land, my phone glitches. It stops. And then the decorations on the table, there's those decorations that you wind up and it plays music. So the phone stops, glitches, stops. And then the decoration on the table starts playing music. And it's like, okay, that's weird. That's a sign, right? Fast forward all year, during the high season and really all year, so many of my friends who asked me to go on trips, come to Lakey's, come to Mentawai, come to G-Land, come to Lombok, come to Roti, come to Raja Ampat, like, let's go to even Medewi. And I'm like, no, I'm working, I can't, I'm working, I'll go on a trip when I finish. I was doing that 90-day business program. Obviously, I haven't gone anywhere. And here's the thing, I don't count. I actually went back to, obviously, I was in Sydney for 2.5 weeks last year over Christmas time. However, that wasn't really a vacation. I spent one night in Brisbane for a business event, and then I was about 2.5 weeks in Sydney over Christmas, and then I came back to Bali for New Year's. And that wasn't really a vacation. I'm home in my hometown. I went back to Sydney for 6 days in April for the Easter week. And at the time I was still in the relationship, and it was a short trip. Again, that was going home to Sydney. And it wasn't really being on vacation. I went last year to Mentawai. I stayed at the Hollow Trees Resort. And at the time I was in a relationship, and it was not a great vacation, let's just say, to put it politely, as an understatement. And also the HT's wave, Lance's right, like super fucking challenging. Really, I have not been on a vacation since September last year. And we are now November 2nd. So this was very much needed. And especially since I had that burnout. And I realize, and if you watch some of my YouTube videos leading up to this one, if you're plugged in, like, let's talk about stressed out and just really high strung and really just like tight and in contraction still. Even though I really turned so many new leaves and had so many transformations already and embodied so much already, like my worth, my confidence, and my empowerment, it was still this like ball of energy. And even the evening before I left on Sunday, my electricity went out on Saturday afternoon, and just some other things were going on, and it was hot, and I was just having a meltdown. Anyway, 3 days in the jungle. So G-Land, you get there, you get a boat from Kuta, which is about 2 hours or something. And then you're there. I got picked up in the morning at in the end, it was like 5:30. However, the night before, I didn't sleep. I tried to go to sleep early. Probably didn't put my light out until after 10 p.m. Woke up at 11 p.m. Woke up at 1 a.m. Woke up at 3 a.m. Was then awake at 3:45. I was up pretty much out of my bed, showering and getting ready and looking after Bikini and the kittens. And then I waited till 5:30. And then we got to Kuta, where the beach is, and then we got the boat from there. And again, the boat didn't leave until about 7. So I was in this kind of like zombie, my friend Lana, who I ended up going with, She said it was like a surf zombie. Yeah, the first day I was like not really with it. I felt like after we did surf that first day, I had like a really big nap in the afternoon. But when I woke up, I guess I was already, if I look back now, and actually I created, I don't know if it's going to be a vlog because I didn't do any talking in the vlog. I was editing it this afternoon. I was fixing and color grading and balancing out the color, and I was in Final Cut and doing all these things. However, I've just got like clips of my trip there, and it's at this stage I think it's like 14 minutes and I haven't talked in it. I'm going to probably do a voiceover, or maybe I'll put text on screen. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deliver the footage, how I'm going to create the film of my trip. However, if I now just think about it, arriving, I woke up and I guess there was already this energy, because there was coming back. It's almost like this was already a dream for me. It's a different energy. It's a different land. It's different energy in the ocean. The waves are really different. They're difficult. It's tricky. I definitely got some bombs. I got some amazing waves. I've definitely fallen in love with the waves there. Over the 3 days, watching this documentary, sorry, I'm like looping all back around. If you can stay with me and follow me. I thought that like I would have some spiritual experience, and it actually was I had quite an experience on my second day of surf. The first day I surfed at Kong's, it was about an hour and a half, and got some waves, really fun waves, some longer waves, some kind of big drops. It was fun. I was on my 5'6". And I actually would have taken a bigger board, but last swell at Uluwatu, at Bommy, I snapped my 6'4". So my biggest board was a 6'0" until I got to my guns at 7'2". And I knew the forecast was only 4 to 6 feet. I wasn't going to take my 7'2". I took a 4'11", a 5'6", and a 6'0". Yeah, the first day was fun. It was like the first time. And then I was cold though. I wore a bikini. The second 2 days I did wear a wetsuit. And because there was swell, it was colder in the water. On the second day, it was pumping. It was firing. And we started at Kong's. Got a couple waves. I got one wave, but I thought, it's kind of high tide. And it's a bit slow. And I felt like the wave was a bit thick and slow. I really wanted more like, push. So I floated back down, and I'm still getting used to like the different sections. And I guess I was at Money Trees and kind of made my way down. I got one like on the inside, like a small something, but I just wasn't really sitting in the right spot. And of course, this is like my first time, second day surfing there, and it was pumping. It was pretty big. By after I'd probably been in the water already now at this stage, like 3 hours. And I ended up at the end at Speedies. And Speedies, the Speedies, right? Like Speedies, it means like it's going really fast. And there was this nice Australian, very good surfer, handsome kind of man as well. And he actually was trying to call me into 2 waves. The first wave he tried to call me into, he goes, "This one's for you." And I saw it. And I was like, I'm not going on that. That is coming in really fast. And I could see the reef really shallow. And I was like, I'm not going. So he went. Then another wave came, like a bigger one, and he goes, "Go, that's yours." And I said, No, you go. And he went. And at this stage, I was like, okay, I've only gotten one wave at Kong's, one on the small inside. I don't even know where I was, like maybe past the ledge, like not Speedies, somewhere like on the inside. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting like tired. I can't get a wave. And like also other guys. I mean, I saw guys getting really good waves, and it was big. Yeah. And there was actually a nice Brazilian man who was trying to call me in also. Like there was some really nice guys who were trying to help me, but also other guys were also trying to figure it out where to sit. In the end, I saw one older guy get a long bomb, long open, like big bomb, long wave. And I was like, right, that's where I need to go. I'm getting tired. I need to get out of here. My eyes already feel funny. So I paddled all the way, like not Kong's, but I guess it's like the ledge or Money Trees. And by this stage, yes, the tide was like low at this stage. And there were a couple of guys and then one local guy, and they were taking off at this, I guess it was Money Trees. The waves started getting even bigger. Like there were some big sets. It was pumping, and I was only on a 6'0". There was one set that came in, and one guy was like, "This one's for you." And I looked at this wave and I thought, definitely not. I would need a 7'2" for that, or at least my 6'4". And so I kept trying and I wasn't in, and the guy was like, go, you need to be more in the peak, and tried to also call me, and I was like, oh God, I'm not getting anything. And then I like tried to go for one and then I like didn't get it. And then another one was coming and there was this local guy there who was from Canggu. And he's like, yeah, I'm usually like on a longboard. He's like, I'm having a bit of a tough time with this situation. But I kept seeing him take off on the biggest waves. I mean, these guys were like dropping in. They were taking off and tucking in straight away. These were some big waves coming through. Not what I was expecting. It was like bigger. I was like, okay, yeah, it was like bigger. But these were, I mean, one Australian guy said the next day, he was like, there were some solid 8-foot waves coming in. And I would definitely say, I'm not really quite sure, but yeah, big. There was some, like, it was pumping. Like, it got even bigger. I was like, okay, it just got bigger than what I had experienced for the first 3 hours. There was another wave coming, and I looked at this, like, local guy, and I was like, oh, I'm going. And I took off. Big, scary, amazing drop. Went down, came up, went down, came up, went down, came up, then came up. Long bomb, big bomb, fast, big drop. Like, it was good, and it was like clean. Like, yeah, it was clean. Oh my God, it was amazing. And I was like, oh my God. And I came off because the waves that I gotten in the morning before, and then the first wave that I got on that second day at Kongs, I mean, these were big waves. Definitely. These were like big waves and long waves. I was quite surprised. These were like long waves. I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Must have been now at this stage, like, I think I was in the water for 4.5 hours. I'm always in the water so many hours on those big days because it takes me a while to get waves. I got that bomb and then I came off and I was like, I was like claiming it and cheering it. And I was coming in, and then as I got more shallow and in and on my feet, I was like, I almost pretty much like cried. I was like, thank you so much. Like, that was like, I think my wave of the week. Like, that's what I came for. Like, I was like overwhelmed with gratitude. And I looked out and I looked behind me and I saw the sets and I was like, oh, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I'm like almost now getting emotional again. And I think that I don't think I could have got that wave if I hadn't have surfed Ulu this year and gotten those waves at Bommy. It was like the same big, steep. You just had to be in the right spot. And that's the thing. Like, I'm always ready to commit and go except for down at Speedies when I knew like how fast that looked and how like it was like, I think there were like barrels down there and it was like shallow. I was like, I am not going to attempt Speedies at low tide already, and it's already like I'm in the water 3 hours. I'm already tired. I haven't gotten a wave. It's really shallow. Speedies is really shallow. Not a good time to try Speedies. That's why I went further back up. I didn't even know what the reef was going to be like up there, how shallow or deep it was going to be. But after I came off that bomb, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that and I got that wave. And I'm super grateful because, again, I can talk all the time about how that wave at Uluwatu, the Bommy wave, it changed my life this year. And I don't think I could have paddled into that wave a year ago. For me, it reminded me more of a Bommy wave. Not so much the main peak, but for me, like Bommy, like that big, big drop, like big wave, big drop. It's like scary, but I like that. Like, is that crazy? Like, that's what I kind of like. It's like a bit scary and it's really steep and it's really fast. But I mean, it was beautiful. It was this long open wave and I went down, up, down, up, down, up, maybe down again. Not sure. Long though. Whatever it was, long, big bomb. I turned around and I saw it. It was beautiful. Then I walked in and I was alone and there was low tide, so I was walking on the reef. And actually, I didn't wear my booties. I didn't wear the reef booty sock pocket. What do you call them? Pocket socks. I just walked in. I was actually okay. I think I got a reef cut on the side of my foot on the third day. Yeah, it was amazing. 4.5 hours. It's crazy that like I was like, thank you. I was in the water 4.5 hours and that wave was magic. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to come back next year. Wow, it was amazing. And then our third day, oh my God, the first wave that I got at Kongs, we paddled out, it was high tide, or just before or at high tide. Oh my God, the first wave, I just got off the boat and I was already like kind of tired. The first wave that I got, oh my God, big wave. I literally We jumped off the boat because we got the boat. We jumped off the boat and straight away Lana went to go for a wave. And then the next wave, like it was just there. And then I took off and it was a big, long wave. It's like, so at Kong's that morning, I got like 4 or 5 waves. Still slow though, you know, like fat and slow. So amazing. The second wave that I got, long wave. And because it was kind of slow, but big, I did 2 full-on cutbacks. I dropped down, I cut back, went up, did a turn, cut back, went around, did a turn, then came off. I have never done cutbacks like that before. Like kind of, sorta at Bommy. Not really peak, or like I like to call it no man's land at Uluwatu. Like I did these like not really a Bommy this year, but I can see on certain waves, and I'm excited for next year or next time there's a Bommy, that I do see guys cut back. There's a section with the wave on Bommy that you can cut back and then keep going. I did these like big like cutbacks and like, yeah, it was awesome. And then actually today at Ulu, there was one, I only got 2 waves today at Ulu. And one of the waves, I took off and I was again at no man's land. I took off and then I like cut back and then I finished. I was like, oh my God, I can now do cutbacks. Maybe that doesn't mean anything for you, but as you know, I've not been surfing very long. Doing cutbacks is that's a new skill for me. Yeah, I got a few waves, 4 or 5 waves, maybe 5 waves. 5, or could have even been 6, probably 5 waves from Kong's. And then we paddled back because it had changed, the condition had changed. And then I went back and I got one more at, I guess, Money Trees again. Not as big as the day before, but still really fun, scary, like big drop, fun, like a long wave. Oh my God, long wave, like down, came up, I went down, I came up, I went down, and then I came up. Very cool. And then as I was paddling in, there was this massive set. So that was 4 to 6 feet. 4 to 6 feet on the Monday. Sunday was 4 to 6 feet. The Monday was 4 to 6 feet plus. And then the Tuesday was back to 4 to 6 feet. Now that's only 4 to 6 feet. I can only imagine what it's going to be like 6 to 8 foot, 10 foot plus at G-Land. Like, whoa. And I'm excited. I want to try that. So it was fun, you know, like there was all this beautiful wildlife. I saw all these monkeys and these deer. I saw black-faced monkeys. I saw black pigs, little monkeys running all over the place. Oh, the most beautiful sunsets. Oh, the most gorgeous sunsets. Didn't have a lot of alone time. There was 2 other girls there that we hung out with and had our meals with. There was a group of Aussie guys, a Russian group of guys, and another Australian family, a husband and wife and their kid. There was a Brazilian man and his girlfriend from somewhere in Europe, maybe some other guys. Not very full to me, like quiet. And I remember arriving on the first day. It was so quiet. I was like, what? It's so quiet. Wasn't used to the quiet. I slept. We like a couple of naps. The first and the third day, like napped after surfing, or second and third day napped after surfing. Well, actually, I napped every day. No, I napped first and third day. I napped. Slept early, woke early. Oh, there was an earthquake on the morning of the second day, the Monday. I woke up and there was a gecko going, you know, those noises that the geckos make. And then at 5 o'clock, there was like an earthquake. I think it was only like a 4.8, so not too heavy, but definitely. But then after that, I was awake and I walked down and I checked the waves and it was low tide and I walked out and I was looking at the waves. I did, first of all, like a beautiful 22-minute meditation. And then I went out and walked on the reef and looked at the waves. Yeah, it was beautiful. I saw the sunrise. I saw the sunset. Yeah, I had some really fun, like laughing with Lana. It's really fun. We have a great friendship. We laugh a lot. We have deep and meaningful conversations, and we both love surfing together. It was actually our first time. She always surfs at racetrack. She surfs racetrack and then on the big days outside corner. And then for me, I always surf main peak, no man's land, and then Bommy on the big days. We're always in the water together. She surfs pretty much every day as well. Never like had actual surf sessions together. So yeah, it's really fun to surf together. 2 times on the first and second day, or maybe the third day. After I'd gotten a really amazing wave, I turned around and she came on a wave behind me like charging. I thought that was super cool. Like girls surf trip, supporting like my bestie on the wave. It's cool. It's cool. We laughed and we spoke about life and men and surfing and everything. And there was definitely Ajinomoto MSG in the food because I had some really vivid, strange, different, interesting dreams. However, I thought that I would have, what I had was beautiful and amazing, and I'm in love with G-Land, and I cannot wait to go back next year. I want to go back 1, 2, 3 times. And I was already like, oh God, I have to go back to the mayhem of Bali. However, my energy feels reset and refocused and redirected and recalibrated. I feel like I've unraveled and I've been able to integrate again now my energy and my passion and my focus, what I'd like to do with my YouTube channel and my message and my Dharma and my creativity. Again, focusing on my overall health and wellness, my mindset, my energetics, my frequency, continue to build my confidence and my worth and stay really aligned and empowered. However, I feel like something shifted. I feel, is it that, and how I created the content when I first started speaking this evening, was it now what G-Land, what maybe, and I was told the day before when I was buying my pocket socks in the Channel Island store at Uluwatu. I was talking to this local from Nias, but he lives in Bali and works in the Channel Island store. And he said that they believe, the people of Java believe that the god of the South Ocean is there at G-Land. Is it that now the god of the South Ocean has gifted me with a new frequency, a new energy, a new, not mindset, but have I been able to take away what my experience was and now embody that and integrate this shifted new energy? Because I feel a lot more grounded and calm, and I just feel different, and I like it and I'm welcoming it. I realized for me to, and this is what I was thinking before I left on the Saturday, that I think that I'm organizing my new kitas to live here for the next couple of years. Am I going to just be here full time pretty much for the next 2 years, and then after that just come back for dry season for Ulu? East Coast waves, rainy season waves are different. And I mean, really the only thing that I missed in Bali when I was gone was Bikini and these kittens. And they're growing and they're very healthy. Bikini. Hi, Kini. Say hi. I love her so much. I really want to keep 2 kittens. I named the kittens Wax, who's the only boy, G-Land, Bommy, and Thruster. I would like to keep Bommy and Thruster. I would like to keep all of them, but I cannot keep all of them. Of course, I keep Bikini. She's very special. Funny names, aren't they? I've been reflecting, and this is what actually kind of a couple weeks leading up to my trip, like in the last few weeks, I really took time off to do nothing because I hadn't done nothing for a long time. And I'm grateful for the luxury of having time to do nothing, because for years I've been doing the polar opposite of nothing, like everything. And when I wasn't, I've mentioned this before, that when I wasn't so active with my business because I was in that previous relationship, I was just always traumatized and just in a completely different space. Yeah, I've spoken about that before with that relationship, and we're not going to go there anymore because that's done now. I really took the first few weeks to unravel and do nothing because I needed to do that. I needed to get myself back together and unwind, I guess. And then I remember the third week I was getting really anxious. Oh, I need to figure out what I want to do with my life. Oh my God, starting to stress and getting really anxious. And then I was like, I just need to stay calm. And then I was like, okay, I need to come back into the routine and the consistency of waking up in the morning and again listening to like a meditation, or I really like to listen to Abraham Hicks on YouTube, the teachings of Abraham Hicks. Start to write out my gratitude list and write out my affirmations and visualize or journal something, and then get into a meditation, and then do a yoga practice, and then get into the routine of, making a breakfast or going out for breakfast, like create that morning routine. For me, I was kind of like still doing that, but not as consistently. And for me, my spiritual practices and those healthy practices really allow me to feel connected and really allow me to set the tone for my day, start my day off like on the right foot. It just allows me to feel integrated and embodied and alive and connected. So I started doing that again and then starting to focus again. I attended the YouTube 1K challenge. I'm not sure if I created some content before that. Maybe I haven't. But I did the 5-day YouTube 1K challenge with Think Media. And I didn't stay up in the middle of the night when it was streaming live. I watched the replays the next day. And it's allowed me to come back in and start to plug in with the Facebook Video Ranking Academy community and be watching, again, all content. And I have been in these last few weeks really educating myself and enlightening myself, watching everything to do with growing on YouTube, becoming monetized, setting up affiliate marketing with Amazon, like all of this, focusing now on YouTube as the business model and how to grow, get to a certain amount of subscribers to become monetized, like all of that. And then obviously I've started watching Skillshare when it comes to everything to do with photography, videography, filmmaking, been watching tutorials, creating documentaries, everything to do with different focal lenses. On YouTube, I'm always watching, because I'm switching over to Sony. I've already got the Sony A7C II I've ordered to my home in Sydney. I'm going to sell my Canon gear in Sydney when I get to Sydney. On my Canon kit, I've got my Canon R6, and I have, my different RF lenses, and I've already ordered a couple of lenses, Sony G Master lenses in Sydney. I would also like to order some, this is again my geeky side, some variable ND filters and some other things like this. I've only ordered 2 lenses so far, Sony 50mm G Master lens and the 16 to 35 G Master lens. I was talking about that because yes, it's been this passion of mine, and like now is the time for me. And watching the Think Media YouTube 1K challenge, that was always like what I was doing on the side. Now it's like it's now or never. This is now because I'm not aligned with the previous business model with Enagic, with the Freedom Era anymore. I'm not in that community. I actually did watch a Facebook ads training. Ooh, they would have streamed live today. I can watch the replay. Oh, fortunately, I got back into Facebook. I troubleshooted and was re-uploading to identify my identification, and my Facebook is now open. Oh, that was a whole thing, wasn't it? They've got a 4-week course for Facebook ads. I watched a webinar with another guy for running Facebook ads. I'm definitely, I'm still obviously going to work online. However, I'm excited to start a new chapter with my professional life and my creative life and my creative endeavors, and really my pursuit with my love for videography and creating films and desiring to make videos. So I'm figuring it out, and I feel really excited, and I have the energy now to move into that way of working again. Not like before, obviously. That was too much. Surfing big waves in the dry season for big swell season, and doing that 90-day business program and just doing everything else for the previous business. Too much. That was too much. It's too much. I really am focused on that work-life balance. I think that's really key. And so when it comes to thinking about what I'd like to share more with here on my channel, and this is for you also as I talk about all of this, we're at the end. 2023 has shown me what I don't want to be aligned with. Right? Sometimes they say in order to start to figure out what you do want, you need to know what you don't want. And I came out of a relationship of definitely what I don't want and the type of person that I never want to be with ever again. And my standards now are like this. I'm willing to wait for all the things that I am envisioning and manifesting and attracting and calling into my life when it comes to my future partner in a relationship. And now it's also the same thing when it comes to work and creating wealth and focusing on my professional life as a digital content creator with YouTube and with Instagram and digital marketing. I'm going to have to do more digital marketing, but thank God I've learned so many skills when it comes to entrepreneurship and working online in the last few years. I'm so grateful. Of course, I'm going to continue to learn more. I'm ready to get back into it. I'm grateful that I have the support and the time to be able to go through this phase of figuring it out. If you want a certain different life, you've got to be able to position yourself to figure it out. Whatever you desire, I still truly believe that you can create. You can create any life, lifestyle, wealth, partner, dream job, skill, health that you desire. But you've got to, first of all, get really clear on what it is that you want. And if you don't know what you want, you need to plug in or create yourself the time or allow yourself to expose yourself or position yourself with being able to do things that will help to figure it out. Now, whether that's spiritual practices, whether that's watching something educational, that's for you to figure out. And maybe that's more about what I'll share about is like how I'm figuring out what I want to do with my life. I had a meeting with somebody who said, oh, maybe you should create a course about what to do after burnout. It's like, yeah, and I'm not at that stage right now to create any courses. Like for now, I'm just going to focus on sharing insights and my message and my voice and my heart and my empowerment to you, that if you don't know what you want, get clear on what you don't want. And if you want your life to change, then change it. Take a step towards creating this change, because I've said this so many times and I will say it again. The only time your life will change is when you begin to change. And I know it's scary. That's really scary. Change is scary. It's easier, safer just to stay small, stay in your contraction. That doesn't feel good for me. I think we need to go through that and feel that. And that's valid and that's worthy. And it's awful at times when you're going through rough times. It's terrible. You're stressed, you're anxious. It's like a low vibration. It's not a good time. However, this too shall pass. Everything passes. You get through things, and maybe that you only get through by hanging on by a thread. However, on the other side of that, I can still see that everything is happening exactly as it should be. And to bring this back around, I'm so grateful for that trip to G-Land, because how I feel now, and now this is where I'm focused for really changing my life and creating more of an extraordinary life in 2024 and achieving more, traveling more, just more and being more, showing up absolutely, fully unapologetic in myself, fully expressed, unapologetic as my highest self. This is me. Maybe it's my age, and it's hard for me sometimes for people to give me advice if they're in their 20s and 30s, because really now anybody who's my age and older, and when they share about whether it's, it's experience. I mean, of course, we all have experiences. We all have things to share regardless of our age or anything like that. I just know that where I'm at in my 40s now, that I am very grounded. And I've come to really be so worthy of myself and trust myself and my intuition, and just know that I'm not out to please everybody. And I'm not going to stay in situations that I don't feel good and that rips my soul and crushes my source. I've been through a few of those experiences this year, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm a very energetic being and a spiritual being, and have a big purpose, and I have big dreams. I'm not the only one who's been through things this year. And if you are going through something, you will get through it. And if you do want different, you can create different, but you've got to change. And whether you hear that from me today or that's in your own timing, that will land for you. We only get one chance here, and it's like now or never, right? You should be grateful that actually everything that's happening to you, it's their blessings in disguise. If you can learn from those, they're learning opportunities, and they're your opportunities and your chances. And it's for you to intentionally choose how you live each day and how you show up and what you're going to think and how you're going to act and what you're going to say. The integration and the embodiment of how I feel coming back from G-Land and everything that I've gone through this year in the last few years with surfing, with living in Bali, and with the previous business model that I was aligned with, and then other different experiences sprinkled in through there. I feel pretty good right now. I can only intentionally move forwards from this place and embody this frequency, really flow from this energetic state, this place, this frequency that I'm at now to guide me and for wherever I'm moving forwards towards. And I have my plans. I know where I want to go, but we just have to stay open. And would I be feeling this same way if I went to G-Land before? I don't know. I wasn't able to go anywhere before because I was working so much, but now I would like to travel and work at the same time. More travel. For me, that's what I wanted to say. Everybody needs a break. And I'm not just talking like, oh, just take like an afternoon off or take one day off. I only had 3 days and my goodness, it was exactly what I needed to get away from the mayhem of Bali, the craziness. It's out of control here. And it's actually quieter now than it was in the July and August months. And September was a bit more quieter. October was, now we're in November. Okay, September was still pumping, but October and November now will be quiet until December. 3 days for me, what a blessing. 3 days in G-Land, it's a blessing. And that was I guess that was maybe this feeling, this embodiment, touching here because this is my heart. I've got my broken nail. That happened last well, but really, yeah, I'm grateful of where I'm at and what I feel and what I am embodied with moving forwards now. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you so much. Do hope you found some value in what I've had to share. Please, if there's any comment, please leave me a comment. And please, at the end of this video, there will be a suggested video for you. So I suggest click on the video what is suggested for you because it is suggested for you. And you never know what that magic message might be. Okay, thank you so much, and I will see you next video.